Welcome to our channel. If you're gearing up for a role as a threat hunter, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving into key interview questions that will give you the edge in your interview. Let's kick things off with our first question about collaborating with cybersecurity teams. Could you share an experience where you worked closely with a cybersecurity team to successfully fend off a detected threat? This question sheds light on your teamwork skills and how effectively you collaborate in high-stakes situations. Here are some pointers to help structure your answer. Pick a specific incident where your role is clearly defined. Describe the threat and how it was identified. Explain your actions and how you worked with the team. Highlight the outcome and its impact on security. Stay focused on collaboration and teamwork. Let's take a look at a sample answer to illustrate this.
Not long ago, during a phishing attack, I teamed up with our incident response group to analyze suspicious emails. We rapidly shared intel on the threat and devised a response strategy. I also led a training session for employees on spotting phishing attempts, which resulted in a 40% drop in reported phishing incidents over the following month.
By the way, we're only covering a handful of questions in this video, but I've prepared a free PDF with all 30 top interview questions for Threat Hunter. It also includes example answers and tips to help you prepare with confidence. The download link is just below. Can you describe a scenario where you identified a complex threat pattern and how you tackled the investigation and resolution? This is your chance to show off your problem-solving skills and how you approach complex security challenges. Here are some tips to help you frame your response. Briefly describe the complex threat pattern you spotted. Talk about the tools and methods you used to detect it. Detail the investigative steps you followed to analyze the threat. Explain how you documented your findings and communicated them. Conclude with the outcome and what you learned from the experience. Here's an example to help you get started.
During a security audit, I detected unusual outbound traffic from several user accounts. Using our CM tools, I correlated logs and uncovered a pattern of data exfiltration. I led an analysis of the IP addresses, documented everything in our ticketing system, and presented my findings to the incident response team. We managed to block the malicious IPs and implemented stricter outbound rules.
Have you ever led a threat hunting mission? What was your strategy and what outcomes did you achieve? This question is a great opportunity to demonstrate your leadership abilities and strategic thinking. Here's how you can effectively showcase your leadership in your answer. Give a brief overview of the mission and its context. Describe the specific strategy you developed or followed. Mention any tools or frameworks you utilized. Highlight key metrics or results that show success. Reflect on lessons learned or improvements for future missions. To give you an idea, here's an example response.
In a prior role, I led a mission focused on detecting lateral movement in our network. I used the MITRE attack framework to pinpoint tactics and techniques, employing CEM and endpoint detection tools to analyze logs. We identified an unfamiliar user account accessing sensitive areas, which we swiftly investigated and secured, cutting the potential risk by 30%.
Imagine you're responsible for assessing the risks of a new ransomware variant in your organization. What steps would you take? This question tests your ability to assess and respond to evolving threats with a structured approach. Here's a step-by-step guide to formulating your answer. Research the ransomware variant's behavior and characteristics. Identify critical assets and data at risk. Evaluate your existing security controls. Conduct a risk assessment considering potential impact and likelihood. Suggest necessary mitigation strategies, like awareness training. Here's an example to help you formulate your response.
Initially, I would research the ransomware variant to understand its propagation and data encryption methods. Then, I'd identify critical systems holding sensitive information and assess their exposure. I would evaluate the current security measures and determine if additional protections are needed. Lastly, I'd carry out a risk assessment and suggest further training for staff on phishing attacks, a common ransomware entry point.
After containing a major data breach, what post-incident analysis steps would you follow to enhance future protection? This question evaluates your post-incident process and how you use lessons learned to improve security measures. Here are some key elements to include in your answer. Conduct a root cause analysis to find out how the breach happened. Review logs and alerts to understand the attack vector and timeline. Update your incident response plans based on new insights. Perform a risk assessment to identify exposed vulnerabilities. Implement additional security measures like updated access controls. Let's look at an example to guide your answer.
I would begin with a root cause analysis to identify the breach's origin and attack vector. Reviewing relevant logs would help me understand the incident's progression. I'd update our incident response plan with new findings and conduct a risk assessment to patch vulnerabilities exploited in the attack. Finally, I'd implement stronger access controls to mitigate future risks.
Before we wrap up, remember you can get all 30 questions, example answers, and step-by-step tips in a handy PDF. Totally free. Just grab it below.